Welcome to Olympic National Park.
Baby, you're golden. Time moves, I never noticed. Just can't get enough. Got me wonderstruck.
Hello. You need any maps at the park today?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Get ready. You too.
We collect the maps from each national park unit that we visit. Not only does it give us more information for that trip, but for any trips we make back to the area in the future, since it's way too hard to see everything at a national park in just one visit. Olympic National Park is off the 101 and has roads that split off from it to the beaches, lodge, and hot springs. The Soul Duck Hot Springs is where we decided to meet up with my brother Rick and his family and start our day.
Hey, good morning, folks. We're here at Soul Duck Hot Springs.
We're going to start off our day today in Olympic National Park right here at the hot springs, and you get to come along with us and hopefully add it to your bucket list. There is a campground here along with the cabins, but they make it clear that there are bears here too, so you have been warned thusly. There are a few gift shops in the park, but this was the one that was best for stickers. But first, the hot springs. So these are the hot springs. No, they're no rocky, slimy bottoms. It is a pool, but they are fed by the hot springs. And it's my kind of hot spring. But it is totally wonderful and accessible. You can see that ramp that goes down there, goes all the way into the water. Love it. Ooh, it's really warm. It's not like hot. What do you think?
I think it's warm. It's smelly.
Definitely the sulfur smell.
Yeah, you get a sulfur smell.
Sarah,
So there is it's a whole lodge here. There's a restaurant, a gift shop, everything you can eat. We're gonna relax by the pool. Hi. So if you wanted to know if it was relaxing, I think Harry finds it very relaxing. This pool was our Goldilocks just right pool, but we did try them all. Okay, so our time here is done. We are gonna be heading now to the lodge for lunch, but we really liked it here. Each one of the pools is a different temperature. The biggest pool is a cold pool, and when I say cold, I mean freezing, it's cold. But there are different levels, so no matter how hot you like your hot springs, they got you covered. All right, on to the next spot. Along with lots of different long hikes you can take in this area, and those mossy woods are inviting, we had passed one place we wanted to go back to on our way to the hot springs. Just the name, Salmon Cascades, led us to believe that there might be a waterfall there, and we are always up for chasing waterfalls. Just saw something that I've never seen before. Tell me if you have, in all your hikes, seen something like this. Look at this tree. So it looks like it just rooted itself right to, I'm gonna assume is the parent tree. It's just amazing. Literally never seen anything like that before in my life. We've seen nurse trees before, the dead tree becoming a fertile place for new trees to sprout and grow, but never a tree growing a bit like a creature from Aliens on another tree. If you know what this process is called, please do leave us a note down in the comments. I haven't been able to find out what this is called and would love to know. This is truly incredible. Right from this platform, you stand a good chance of seeing salmon spawning in the late summer or early fall. Chinook and coho salmon use the Solduck River as their highway up into the mountains that time of year, while cutthroat trout and steelhead run in the fall and winter and spawn in the spring. We were about 6 weeks too early, but it was still so beautiful.
So this is the coho salmon exhibit. Pull out up going towards Dole Soak Hot Springs. Solduck?
Solduck.
Solduck Hot Springs. Okay, I'll get it one of these days.
The Salmon Cascades Nature Trail isn't a long one, but totally worth the stop so you can admire the river and get a really beautiful walk in the woods. You could spend 15 minutes or hours just watching the river flow and exploring the woods in this little area. For us, it gave Harry and our nephew the chance to rock scramble down to the crystal clear water, and for the rest of us time to enjoy the view for about 30 minutes before continuing on to the lodge. From the hot springs to the lodge is only about 30 minutes driving time. If you don't want to pay to go into the other part of the park, you can visit the lodge for free. It is right off the 101, about 20 miles from Port Angeles, and totally worth the short drive to be able to enjoy the beauty of this park and get to the edge of Crescent Lake. The lodge was built in 1916 and makes for a wonderful base camp for your explorations in this park if you don't camp in the nearby campgrounds, like the one at Solduck Hot Springs. There are also trails near the lodge, thus all the cars parked here. But go to the parking lot right behind the cottages near the lake if you want to visit the lodge. As you arrive to the lake, you begin to see the lodge buildings. There are several choices for accommodations, from a room in the lodge to rooms in the other outbuildings near the lake, and the adorable 1 to 3 bedroom cabins. All right, lunchtime at the lodge. We're gonna head down, but I wanna show you guys around. So looks like there's cabins. Say hi, Harry.
Hey, so here we are at the world famous
Crescent
Lake
Lodge.
Crescent. No, Crescent Lake.
Crescent Lake. Okay, which is it, Lake Crescent or Crescent Lake?
Inquiring minds want to know. We'll try to find out. But take a look at that though. Just gorgeous. I didn't think the lake was that big. It's huge.
And look at that color. I'm just in love with that color.
Kind of rival Tahoe.
As of July 2024, rooms start at $193 and cabins at $399. Totally worth the splurge to be so close to the lake. It's only $60 for 8 hours for kayaks, canoes, paddleboards. That's a deal. FDR visited Lake Crescent Lodge in 1937 and would create Olympic National Park in 1938. If you visited any of the other lodges of this era, this one will feel very much like the one at Yellowstone or Yosemite, just on a smaller scale. Time for lunch at the lodge. And we started off with drinks. I got the spiked lavender lemonade to enjoy. Deciding what to eat was easy as I spied the Dungeness crab, mac and cheese, and Harry saw the salmon BLTA. Then the whole family ordered a few different desserts, including the berry shortcake. The grounds here are very accessible, and we couldn't wait to explore. The Pacific Northwest is one of those places that even in July it's in the 70s, so be prepared that there may be a chilly breeze and that water may be very cold to enjoy, but there were plenty enjoying it. Even if you're sitting in a camp chair overlooking the water and not renting one of those mini canoes or kayaks, this would be a wonderful place to be. This is where we parted ways with my sister-in-law and nephew who had to make it back for an appointment, and took Rick with us up to Hurricane Ridge, starting with the visitor center. We always try to start off in the visitor center. Normally there's some sort of museum, and it's fun to learn from the rangers. One of the reasons we love visitor centers is because they teach us all about the local populations. human, animal, and plants. Because Olympic National Park includes the ocean, we found out about the indigenous whale hunting, which helped the local tribes survive. 6 to 8 men in dugout canoes would brave the open ocean in order to bring back a whale to support the tribe. While whale hunting ended in the 1960s, fishing is still a major source of livelihood. But this park has many areas and fungi grow in almost all of them. These sculptures by artist William Madison gave me hope of finding some new ones for us on future explorations. Lots of different land and sea animals live here, including mountain lion, bobcat, coyotes, otters, marmots, deer, mountain goats, and elk. As with most rich wildlife areas, you have to be there in the early morning or late afternoon to see them. Since we were there in the middle of the day, we hadn't seen so much as a squirrel yet. It's rough. We got our stamp and headed out the back door to see the exhibits outside. There are also 2 short trails here to explore, but this time we only had time to explore the cabin. Moved from its original location and donated in 1962, the cabin was restored to what it would have looked like in 1900. We have been told that some of the most stunning views in the park were up on Hurricane Ridge. It's only about 17 miles to the very top, but we had no idea just how gorgeous of a drive it is. And we finally saw a deer.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you. There you go.
Thank you. Sometimes going through different gates is great. You get the newspaper. If you only have time to do one quick drive, this is the one we recommend. We're here today at Hurricane Ridge. There used to be a visitor center here. They suspect that it was burnt down via arson, but they're not terribly sure. It'll probably take a few years for it to rebuilt. But the views here are still outstanding. And when they can have the ridge open, they do, for views like this. Harry and Rick took the short but steep walkway up to see the views at the top, and it was totally worth it. But if you're not able to take the walk, don't worry. Just a short drive further along the main road brings you to an overlook, and all the views are simply breathtaking there too. At just over 5,000 feet, the views from each side of the ridge make it a real destination, even if you're not a hiker. On our way back down, we saw the exact model of Navion that we were supposed to be using on this trip. Fortunately, the views made up for the sorrow. The views from the edge side of the road were my favorite part of this day, along with the wildflowers, of course. If you saw our last video on Mount St. Helens, you know how truly spectacular the wildflowers are in Washington in July. I began watching for a pullout just so we could show you how incredible these steep slopes look like covered in wildflowers. What a wonderful reason to come up here in July. Along with the wildflowers, there was another place we had passed on our way up that we wanted to share with you. And this is where we started chasing waterfalls again. The Switchback Falls are actually a series of runoffs that you can see this time of year, but they are so beautiful.
Curious angle.
The other feature here are the trees. Clinging to the sides of the rocky hillsides, they have super strong root systems for anchors. The Switchback is one of the more popular hikes in the park, and this is the trailhead for it if you're up to a 3 to 7 mile hike. We just enjoyed more incredible views before heading down off Hurricane Ridge on our way to the next spot on our list, just 17 miles away. The trailhead is on the Elwha River, and this is one of those places you can hang out for the day and fish, but we were here for Madison Creek Falls.
Don't know what happened to that tree, but it's kind of, the stump is kind of cool. We're headed out to the, I think it's the Elwha Falls? Something like that. We'll get the name. It'll be down in the description. We'll figure it out. So that turned out not to be as hard to figure out as I had originally anticipated. This is Madison Falls. I thought it was a different falls,
Oh, check out this tree.
but I was wrong.
There's trails that go for miles that are charted on the map that you can take off into. And this is the falls. When you turn a corner, it is astounding.
Oh, wow. Wow.
About 200 yards from the parking lot, Madison Creek Falls is stunning. At 60 feet tall, its beauty is one of the most accessible places in the park. That doesn't mean there isn't a challenge available if you're up to it. Jason, Liz, and Rick's son all climbed to the top to try to find the source of the waterfall, but all they found was a pool and another small waterfall. What a way to cap off our day. While we always wish we had more time to spend in a national park, Olympic is way too big to see even a small part of it in one day. And we still had more to enjoy because it was getting late in the day, and you know that means time for wildlife.
Deer? Yeah, 2 deer.
Not just deer, but 2 baby deer. We kept looking for the mama, but the babies, still spotted, were right off of the road. We did finally find her up near the tree line, making sure we were safe. But this wasn't the youngest deer we saw on the way home. There was an even younger one on the road leading just up to Rick's house. Simply adorable.
Okay, folks, so we've covered 2 parts of Olympic National Park, and we'll cover a 3rd part in the next video.
We've had a great day here today, hanging out with my brother and his family, going to Hurricane Ridge, as well as Solduck Hot Springs and the Lodge. It's been just eye-poppingly beautiful. We're going to leave you with more footage. And of course, we want you to follow along with us on our journeys. Go ahead, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, do all the things that makes YouTube happy, because that makes us happy too. Take care, safe travels, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We hope you'll stick around and join us for more of Olympic National Park in our next video. And if you missed the last video on beautiful Mount St. Helens, we'll post the link right here. See you next time.